Be blessed by the divine. On behalf of Sky Yoga Online English Meditation Group, I once again welcome you all to today's special program. Sorry, my connection got stuck in between, and so I regret for the error. Dear friends, week after week, we are enjoying Vethathiri speeches through some eminent professors. Today also, we are going to enjoy one such special speech. And the speaker is Professor Gulsan Singh. And the topic she is going to talk on is continuous creativity. Before handing over the mic to Professor Gulsan Singh, I would like to just give a small intro about Professor Gulsan Singh. With 3 master degrees, that is MBA, and then Master of Journalism from Harvard University, and Master of Yoga from Sky. She is into Sky Yoga for many years. Initially, she has worked as a management consultant and marketer with the healthcare institution. Her more passion towards journalism made her publish many articles in the prestigious Press Trust of India. She has also contributed as a columnist for a leading Malaysian newspaper. She has been an editor and writer for various advocacy-based non-profits in the United States. She is in Austin, USA. Today, she is going to share with us one of her most treasured insights on the continuous development of creative process through the practice of Sky Yoga. The topic she has chosen is continuous creativity. Dear friends, I am sure her speech is going to inspire us a lot. Welcome, Professor Gulsan Singh. Floor is yours. Be blessed by the divine.
Be blessed by the divine. Thank you, Bharti Amma.
Thank you.
It is such a proud privilege to be here and being trusted to deliver on this very interesting and important topic. And I thank the World Community Service Center to encourage me to come up and speak to you about something that means a lot to me from my experiences, how Vethathiri school of thought can really take us to new heights. So, namaste, everyone. The creative in me bows to the creative in you. I start this presentation assuming and believing that we are already creative, and how we can enhance it is something we will see now. Now, sharing screen.
Yes, you can.
Okay. Can you see this first slide?
It's not it, ma'am. Yes, it has come. So nice.
The most creative, nature, mother, right? So in today's presentation, I'll take you through a few aspects of what we will be discussing. So as an overview, we're going to think through what is creativity. Nothing firm today, okay? Then we will start exploring where can we find it. Then we will look at, okay, so you found it, but are there any benefits to keep it? And then we will go on to studying how we can enhance creativity. It's going to be like a three-slide quick workshop. And then we will affirm that we are continuously creative. I want to start today's presentation with a story. And this is a beautiful anecdote that Maharishi gives in his book, Mind, where he talks about how the mind functions. And to illustrate that, he gives an example of this person who's sitting in his room in the morning, writing loses all sense of time, looks up at the clock and sees it's 9 a.m. He has to be at work by 10 a.m. Take shower, get ready, travel to work, be there on time, all stressed up, gets up quickly, turns around and sees his little child of 3-year-old is staring at the pen on his table. He does not want to lose his favorite fountain pen. Let's say we are talking about the 80s. Nowadays, it could be a phone. Anyways, so he does not want to lose it. He picks up his pen carefully and puts it on the top shelf of a cupboard. Finishes his morning routine, comes out, is packing up, can't find his pen. For the life of him, he's searching everywhere, can't find his pen. He says, forget it. Today I'm going to borrow. Leaves for work. While he's sitting, the day settles in. Sometime in the afternoon, after a nice lunch, he just remembers where he left his pen. He knows exactly how he made that motion to keep the pen in the right place. Now, Maharishi discusses what's going on here, right? And this is how he illustrates how thought patterns expand, contract, bring up memories, and take back memories as well. It's a beautiful example of how brainwaves function. So thought forms, even if you see in an EEG, the brainwaves go into various cycles per second. Alpha is 8 to 13 cycles per second. Theta is 4 to 7. Beta is like sleep or hypnosis state, 1 to 3 cycles per second. And in our general life, in an alert state, we go from 14 to 30 cycles per second. Now, Steve Jobs, in some way, going to this other picture here, is almost reflecting on what's going on with these thoughts, with this quote. I searched for Steve Jobs quotes on creativity because he's such a big hero. His innovation changed the world. So he says creativity is just connecting things. When you ask creative people how they did something, they feel a little guilty because they didn't really do it. They just saw something. It seemed obvious to them after a while. That's because they were able to connect experiences they've had and synthesize new things. So what's going on over here? Even Steve Jobs is wondering, right? Like, what is this thing that people are almost guilty about? How did this brilliant wave of thought come into them? And the Vethathiri system explains this very beautifully. Maharishi, in his book, Biomagnetism, if you don't feel like reading it, definitely watch the YouTube session, or the previous session we had on biomagnetism. It's a masterclass in that. But very quickly, I'll go a little technical on you in the simple way that I understand. Now, universal magnetism fills the interparticle space throughout the universe. And this magnetism within living beings is known as biomagnetism. Okay, so the genetic center, which is literally at the center of the body, is like a switchboard that governs this biomagnetism in terms of charge, stock, and consumption. It's made of life force particles, magnetic intensity, which is your causal body, and reproductive vital fluids. This center is located near the Muladhara chakra, and it receives and stores all experiences and imprints and reflects the same back as thoughts and actions. Now, this process of storing as imprints and releasing as thoughts can be compared to a computer processor, if you want a metaphor. And the reproductive vital fluids transfers these qualities to the progeny. For today's purposes, we will just focus on thoughts, how imprints are stored and thoughts are released, and compressing all experiences into the genetic center and then expanding them into the brain as memory, thoughts, and desires is always going to live on in living beings. And that is why it is so hard to stop your thoughts. Now, what if for a moment, I say that the pen is a metaphor for your creativity? It is yours. You own it. You possess it. You always have it. But sometimes you forget where it is. And maybe it's in the genetic center or rising up in your biomagnetic waves waiting to be noticed. What if we do not leave it to chance to show up? So in the following slides, we will explore what makes us forget about this pen or creativity and how we can always use it. So where is creativity, right? Is it at home? Say a partner surprises you with a new bunch of flowers or some new thing that is not in his or her habit pattern, right? Or when kids are joking at the dining table, or when you're decorating a small corner of the house. Or this is one of my favorites, when you think you have nothing in the kitchen pantry, and yet you find something somewhere and fix up a really nice, delicious meal. Or is it in the office, where you have to every day manage people's expectations very wisely, tread carefully, and yet keep climbing the corporate ladder? Or is it in delighting your client with a fresh new perspective? Or is it helping your team move towards a solution that they were really stuck with during a brainstorming meeting? Or nature. We all know that nature is a great repository of creative inspiration. That's what we hear from these big creatives. They went out for a walk and got this beautiful idea. And we do see it even in science, like robotic arms that are designed to be as firm as an octopus's grip, but also as soft as an octopus's grip, right? Or in yoga, where you see movements or positions that are like the tree or like an eagle. So we do see it everywhere. Two additional aspects where I want to sort of explore if we see creativity is for people who we assume are very logical. Indra Nooyi, another great leader and hero, says leadership is hard to define and good leadership even harder. But if you can get people to follow you to the ends of the earth, you're a great leader. So she's also saying something like Steve Jobs, right? I don't know what it is that I possess that inspires people to come along with me. And over here, I want to speak to a very short anecdote that she said during one of her interviews, that I think 10 years ago or so, can't be exact, there was a big sort of focus within Pepsi and all packaged food industry that we have to make our products healthier. So towards that, the food scientists are testing in their Pepsi labs and saying that if we put 20% less salt in our Lay's chips, it will still taste the same and it is healthier. Great idea. They packaged it well, put 20% less salt, put it out in the markets. And funnily, everyone came back and said that, meh, this doesn't taste the same. We don't like it. Simple solution. Indra Nooyi just took off that 20% from the label. Still, the bag was 20% less salt. And it sold just like earlier. No one complained. And this reminds me of our ammas in the kitchen or whoever is serving food. A child doesn't like it, and then they go, okay, no problem. The next time they just chop the veggie a lot smaller. The child eats it, says, today the food was great. You didn't put the eggplant in. And she goes like, you know what? I just didn't tell you. It was in there. It's the same kind of creativity, right? Let's move on to Sundar Pichai. I would love for my phone to scream if I am about to miss an important thing in my life, and never bother me if I'm doing something very important and the information coming in is less important than what I'm doing. Okay, you can read the statement again, but I love that in one single quote, how this person brilliantly packages what is expected from a phone. Like you can have so many specs going on, but this is one comprehensive statement. All I want to say from these two examples is, even to be logical, creativity is super useful, right? So, now that we know creativity is everywhere, let's see how we can bring more creative ideas into the world around us. But even before that, what are the blocks to creativity? Why do some people think that they are not creative enough? I box them into three large categories. internal, environment, and universe. What our relationship with each of these components is. Internally, am I creative enough? There is comparison, right? There are so many people who are already doing this. They're doing it so well. Why should I even bother? The second thing is fear. Will I look silly? Will I fall when I'm dancing? Will I fail if I'm trying to build this little Lego model? And the worst one, comfort zone, right? I'll do this tomorrow. I don't have the time. I have to take care of this very important thing before I come to satisfying my creative needs. The second block, environment, child of the past. This is another very key aspect that unknowingly blocks creativity. The first time, say, a child went on stage, something happened, people laughed. God, I'm never doing this again. And then as adults, we remember it and don't do it constantly. And then there are so many other such voices in our head of XYZ, uncles, aunts, parents saying that you cannot do this. Or even when they're like, okay, do it, they kind of ignore you when you really, really want it to be noticed. And that child follows you throughout your life, just like we explained about memory and thoughts. The other one is gender and social roles. Very stereotypical examples can be offered here, but it's easy. Women can't fix laptops or light bulbs, and say men can't make a rangoli. And this really steals us of very precious experiences. You know, when the light bulb turns on or when the rangoli is done, the joy of that, why should it be stolen from a certain set of people? Then there is always this narrative that there is a lack of resources for pursuing creative endeavors. So this needs time, this needs money, I have to be more productive. Creativity is not going to put food on the table. There are those things. And then most important, I feel, is our relationship with the universe, which for large masses has been severed for a very long time. And we talked about imprints earlier, how memories are created by the child of the past. And these memories then drive guilt and shame that create a disconnect from the universe. And guilt and shame are perhaps the most damaging feelings. And the separation that it creates is very tragic. So I would say, before we go ahead, just decide that you're going to forgive yourself if any such feeling exists, and forgive others. And if you think you need forgiveness from someone, ask for that forgiveness in your heart. No need to be daring and go there. But separate yourself from guilt and shame to get closer to the God element. And if this guilt and shame is coming from outside, please don't accept this. Don't make that an interpretation of you. Stand your ground and speak your inner truth. This will help us move onwards into our creative state. Okay, so we know these are hurdles, but even if we find creativity, what are we going to do with it, right? I have, again, food to put on the table. The benefits of creativity is you activate humor, lightness, and joy. This is every day because now you're feeling satisfied inside. You have richer experiences. You look at things in different and new ways. You see the big picture. You observe more. Your internal curiosity is driving you to take more from the environment, more inputs. So you do less cookie cutter work. You're trusted as a problem solver and decision maker in office, at home, by your community. There is more internal drive. There is no reliance on, oh my God, I have to do this for these many hours. Creativity will not propel you like that. You will just feel inspired. Then you can work into the night and still feel very energized. And then, because of all this, you broadcast a new you. with higher self-respect, more confidence in what you are speaking. So it's a very natural process. And everybody will be wondering, what happened? There's something new about your energy. So I would like to take a pause over here. And if you feel convinced, let us relax in whatever position we are and fill ourselves in with this auto-suggestion that we are creative, and then move on to this tiny workshop on how to enhance your creativity. So please relax, close your eyes. I will say these affirmations. Internal, every day, my creativity expands and flourishes in ways I never thought possible. Environment, I'm open to new inspirations and my imagination knows no bounds. Universe, my creative energy is a limitless source that I tap into with ease. Now believing that we are creative, let's move into how to enhance our creativity. We will address the same touch points: internal, environment, and universe. But all quest first starts within. So internal, again, the Vethathiri system has such beautiful ways to specifically address the elements that will enhance your creativity. There is the five senses meditation. It helps you, we meditate on our five senses and then ultimately tie it into our Agna and Turya in this type of meditation. And I think it helps you see the big picture outside of your meditative state and hone into your sixth sense. And this sixth sense may not necessarily be tied to one of these senses, but it sort of channels your energy towards the things that you like to manifest and desire to be. So think about this, because not thinking about each sense strictly in the manner in which how it is wired to the brain, but also how it absorbs things around you. For example, in our phrases itself, there is a lot of how senses are important. If someone says, you heard what my heart was saying, that is still hearing, but you're hearing more, you're more attuned. I'll give you example of Swami Vivekananda. When he was still young, he was still Narendranath. And he used to love reading books, and he would very quickly borrow a lot of books from the library. So the librarian was like, there is no way you're going to be reading so many books, and you are just trying to make yourself look good. And Swami Vivekananda was like, dear sir, I actually read it. Please ask me anything. And the librarian started asking, he started responding. Then the librarian still couldn't believe it. So he challenged him to come in the morning to the library and he will offer up some books, read in front of me. And I still want to see if you can answer my questions. And then he placed like a big stack of books right next to him that morning when he turned up. And Narendranath went on to quickly read those books and respond to the questions. And obviously, when he was a Swami, he could also perceive these books in other stories that are narrated by people who have recorded this history. So what is it that Swami Vivekananda is seeing through his eyes that most people who are not tuned in that way are not being able to do? It's still a sense, it's still granted to all of us. And yet there are those who use this in a bigger, better way. Then the other practice is silence. And just this is being in a state of non-doingness, which is very energizing, because again, you're creating less memories, less imprints, you're interacting less. And in this state where your brain waves are resting, you not just get a lot of good positive thoughts, but you're also healing underlying thoughts. So together, they are unfolding inside you something beautiful, which will alchemize in a way in your talk and manner later in the day. You're not so angry, you're not so tense or anxious, you're being able to navigate life a little better. And even if you have not yet done the silence practices within Sky Yoga, think about shower thoughts. When you're in the shower and you get this brilliant wave of thought that, oh, that's a great idea, right? So that's what silence does. Then we have Shanti meditation. This is my absolute favorite. And because this really helped me make friends with my body. We all live a lot in our minds, especially in this age and time. So making friends with your genetic center heals your causal body, your physical body, your astral body, your mind. And it also somewhere allows you to release some traumatic knots that are, again, memories stored within your genetic center. And once these knots are released, I think that like a lotus in a muddy pond, you can bring forth your renewed self. In addition to these more contemplative methods, always analyze your thoughts, do self-introspection, listen to the voice within. If you make that a habit, you will sort of own your life more and you will enjoy your own company, and then self-validate. Don't outsource your decisions. With time, in fact, tell people if they are trying to tell you what to do, that no, you're okay, and maybe they will not like you or you feel they will not like you. But as they see a person with great inner affirmation, they will also start looking upon you for wisdom, advice, and what to do next. And this will really save you a lot of time and energy, which you can channel towards your creative endeavors. And for example, imagine in a bureaucracy, so many people are involved in making one decision, how much time it takes, right? We don't want that in personal life. So come from within. Make your choices. And if you think that you may not be making the right choices, start small, feel confident and start making your bigger choices towards whatever it is. And maybe in the beginning, when you make these choices, the universe will test you. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to be this new person and do this new thing? And maybe you will have some obstacles. But I feel if you stay the course, stick with it, you will establish an inner flow. And this inner flow is what eventually, like at high levels, leads to bliss, right? So this is as far as internal goes. Be your own guru, okay? Fine, we've tackled the internal, what's going on with our environment. I've picked this picture, although I know Chandrayaan-3 is the recent big celebration in India. Congratulations to all of us. But this picture shows me from Chandrayaan-2, the women scientist team, a great sense of how creativity and positive camaraderie can achieve so many big things, right? It's such a simple, such a beautiful, such a joyful picture. How do we achieve this sense within our environment? And again, from my experience, the biggest thing is being at ease with the people around us, blessing people we know and blessing people we don't know, blessing people who we are not in agreement with. If you make that as an active practice, not just before or after meditation, it really helps you control and be in a state of control internally. I have seen that even when I'm talking to someone who I've blessed during the meditation in the morning, not agreeing with them, I am quiet and I can also respond in a more effective and empathetic manner. So blessing people, very important. I think if you practice this a lot, you'll be surprised. You'll never bless like a limited set of people, you will always be blessing the world and the universe. It comes like in synchrony. And speak your truth. It may be because creativity comes from a very unique place, it may not be acceptable. So speak it nicely, right? Then reduce your barriers and echo chambers. By barriers, I mean like religion can be a barrier of reaching out to other communities. Echo chambers are when we listen to the same set of people every day. Break out and go and take a walk across the bridge, whichever may be in your mind, and go and connect with people, the way they live, the cultures. Another very important thing, declutter your mind from too much information. The phone, from watching long form videos to shorts, they create a lot of clutter, and it's called TMI, too much information. Do you really need it? Close it, spend some time in silence or with someone you really enjoy the company of. And even in your environment, it's called the big middle class clutter. We sometimes impulsively buy things we don't like, and then they are lying all around us. So decrease that. Have meaningful conversations with your friends, very important. And when you're having these conversations, be self-reflective, be reflective about your aspirations, and fully avoid any gossip or judgment. Have that firm resolve that you will stop that when it starts happening. Hey, let's talk about something else, and internally just bless the person if the gossiping does continue. Okay. Pay it forward, very important. Encourage your children and appreciate others. We really owe it to our kids to let them be free and let them be bored as much as possible. And arts and sports is also a form of meditation. It is not necessary that the child sits in a state of meditation, although it is great if they do. But arts and sports is their expression of meditative energy. So, for example, my son loves playing cricket. And in his room, he has a big poster of Sachin, and it says that when I go to the field, I go to the field to lose my mind and find my soul. And he got that as a birthday gift from his dad. And I was like, oh my God, this is exactly why I do meditation. So I was like, more power to you. Go to the field as much as you like. So that's about paying it forward. And when you do that, you also become the guru, right? You are also encouraging that in your immediate environment. Okay, so the third and the biggest aspect is the universe. How do you talk to the universe to enhance your creativity? Trust your intuition. And again, in the Vethathiri system, there is great methods to do that. The Turyatita meditation and the 9 center meditation, where you blend the body and mind complex to the universal magnetism, to the static state. And when you come into this commune and merge with infinity, when you come back to normal life, you can access surprising events. You will meet people who are more in sync with who you are and who will help you. You will get that from the universe. Then there's obviously the Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation, which is so beautiful, aligning with the planets. And the reason I did not put a picture of the universe on the universe slide and put these Navdanya is to also state a very impactful story that I heard from Vandana Shiva. Vandana Shiva is an environmental activist of great repute, and she is always advocating for food sovereignty and eco-feminist, anti-globalization in a big way. And she talks about when Veerappan was captured, after he was captured, she went into those forests because she was very excited that here the crops will not have been raised down by globalist companies, GMO seed, etc. And she went in and she talked with the tribals and saw the crops. They were total 9 in number. And the tribals explained to her that these 9 crops align with the 9 planets, the 2 shadow planets and 7 others. And the 9 seeds on our fields are biodiverse enough to keep my family healthy and in continuum, in one harmony with Mother Earth and with the universe. I found that to be very powerful about how harmony is perhaps this magnetism between all of us. So if you think you feel confident where that pen is, please do regular practice. It is like any other creative muscle or any other muscle, right? Like body muscle, one goes to the gym to build. It's no magic. It is inherent, and you can always tap into it and refine your craft, whatever it is. And the most important thing is value yourself. You are God's child, and you are one in billions, and you are always creating. It is our nature to create, and it is your birthright to create. So let's end with an affirmation. Please relax again. Close your eyes if you can. May the divine power protect us, guide us, and lead us day and night, at all times, and at all places, and in all our activities. May we remain continuously creative in ways that the whole world enjoys: good health, long life, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. Valha Valamudan. Thank you so much for listening to me. And inviting for questions.
Thank you very much, Professor Gulsan Singh. It was indeed a great and excellent lecture, ma'am. We enjoyed it a lot. The way that is, you started your lecture with the most creative thing, the nature, showing the trees and all, with color changing, with very nice it was. And then you touched on Steve Jobs, Indra, the IT exponents, and Indra Nui banker and Sundar Pichai, again IT. So it's nice. Because great leaders, they definitely have creativity. It is, but for creativity, they would not have come up to that extent. It's correct. And then you connected that with our Maharishi, how he is helping us in making us more creative through the meditations. And you also explained what are the hurdles when we want to be creative and how to come out of it. You have explained it very nicely. And then the benefits we get, because yes, definitely we become more active, and we are called problem solvers and decision makers and all. We enjoy all these benefits if only we become creative. Then how to become creative? Do meditate, do sky yoga and meditate. Just you explained all the main points of meditation. And
you are muted, Ma.
The picture you are given points was very excellent. That the stones and all, it was very nice. It coincided well with the topic, and also we need to connect with the universe, you rightly said, through this Turyadit meditation and Panchabhuta, and also through 9 points meditation, and all these things. It inspired us a lot, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much.
Be blessed by the divine. Yes.
Be blessed by the divine, Bhartiyama. I'm so glad I could be of use. And thank you so much for such a wonderful summary. It's brilliant. All the slides and what you appreciate. I really appreciate your feedback.
Thank you. Dear friends, now it's question answer time. All those who want.
Yes, Madam Balachandran. It's a very creative presentation, I should say.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, Swamiji says, we are creative. Nature has, as you said, nature is constantly creating things, and we are a part of the nature. The moment we think I'm separate from that, then the problem starts. And that is where this meditation, and you're talking about the inner and the environment and the universe. When you start becoming one with that, you become different. Then your power is totally different. I will just share an example of Swamiji. As you all know, Swamiji is not a formally educated man, especially in English. Okay, when he went abroad to USA and all, with difficulty he used to speak in the beginning. And he would think of something, but he won't be able to get the exact word. Okay, in Tamil he knows it, but he doesn't know the exact word in English. And as he is explaining, for example, Gulsan thinks, oh, I think he's talking about this word. Swamiji uses that word which he doesn't know. Okay, because he's connected. He's in the frequency and his frequency is lower than yours. So automatically it flows and he uses the word, say, procrastination. He doesn't know at all. Later he goes and says that I check up a dictionary as to the meaning of procrastination. So he says, this is how I built up English. You see,
Wow.
A very creative way of learning a language. Okay, and another thing, it's just striking me that these people will be very useful for all of us. Swamiji is a great poet. In Tamil, he's done about 1,800 poems. And he says that he used to keep a sheet of paper and pencil by his side while sleeping also. And suddenly he will wake up, maybe at 1:30 or 2 o'clock, and scribble something. So because he has gone to that frequency during sleep, and whatever he has been thinking is coming out as a poem. And he says, I am not the author of that, because I didn't even think of writing on such a subject. So I think all of us should keep a paper and pen, because we underestimate, as you have said, we think, Arey, humse kya ho? I mean, how creativity is possible for me. You know, I've been told by my maths teacher, you can't be creative and all that. That past, which you have been mentioning. You see, we have unnecessarily bound ourselves with so many things. Just relax and get out of the chains which we have put on ourselves. Okay? And just one more, I mean, you have created certain thoughts in us. Okay. Then one more thing, when he named this thing as vision, you know, our courses, they all come and now USA also has started this BSc and MSc and certificate and diploma courses. Okay, under vision. And vision, Swamiji says, is Vethathiri Maharishi Institute for Spiritual and Intuitional Education.
Oh, beautiful.
So he says the rest of the education we have is tuition. But what we can get is intuition. Intuition is creativity, nothing else.
True.
Isn't it? So we are all bound to get creative. Like ISRO, we can produce. We have shown it already. With very limited finances, we can do it. Indians have the capacity and we have the additional inputs also, as we have been mentioning about various methods. So first, don't think you're not creative. Yes, we are creative. Don't put a block into it. That's correct. Thank you very much. Very beautifully brought up.
Thank you,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Thank
Sunanda, ma'am?
you. Yes, thank you so much. I know Balachandran sir and Bharati ma'am have told everything. They comprise everything. But I have to tell this. I loved your creative speech today. From I don't know which one to choose, but I have just taken a screenshot of this enhanced creativity. Okay, you have talked about the blessing people we know and don't, and speaking your truth nicely, and declutter. You talked about have meaningful conversations. They're so, this we should just put it as a poster in your house somewhere and keep going through it every day so that we are reminded. As you said, we have to keep doing the introspection, as Swamiji has already said. You haven't left anything, Gulshanji. You have captured everything in a beautiful nutshell and so creatively have put it. We were really looking forward to your speech today. You know why? Because you gave a lovely shots. The video was so you're so creative. And thank you so much. We love to have your speech again, once again, sometime later. Thank you so much for an excellent speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunandaji. And especially for the specific feedback, because I agree, each of those 3 slides that actually go into now, how do we do this? That's a workshop in itself. And I can come from my limited experience, and I'll be happy to collaborate on that if it can be of use to anyone. I do want to additionally add that where my creative genesis for this particular presentation comes from is I literally start feeling that Guru is with me. He's giving me that thought, and this is the flow. I live with him in those moments, and that's why it's such a huge blessing for me to be here and be able to process and channel his ideas as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So well said. Thank you so much, Gulshanji. Be blessed by the divine.
Be blessed by the divine.
Madam, where were you? I mean, when did you have an association with Swamiji? Can you say something on that?
So I came into the system 2019, 2020. And we would have these sessions when we do these literary critiques back in when I was doing journalism. And that really fades next to the amazing introspection sessions that we have and the masters that conduct it. It was life-changing for me, for sure. So then I started aligning my need for creativity with the Vethathiri system, and I got so many answers as I continue to, and as we can all continue to.
Ma'am, you are just touching the point. Exploration of the moon by ISRO, Bangalore, on Chandrayaan. Yes, it was very nice, madam. It's the creativity that has worked there, isn't it? But for creativity, that skill, they would not have been. They would not have been able to achieve it. Yes, this Chandrayaan 1, 2, and 3. How hard work they had, and how much creative they were to this south side of the moon. That was that remained unexplored all these days, and our ISRO Bangalore have achieved it. Yes, definitely it is because of their creative skill, I can say. You very rightly touched on it, ma'am. Thank you so much for it. And it's also about telling at home how we have to, we need to go on encouraging our students, and also that is just tell positive words on others so that they will come up, and also in turn it will be of help to us. And also we need to go on putting affirmations. That's very nice, ma'am. Yes, we need to be positive always. Very nice. It was very nice, ma'am.
Thank you, Bharti.
We are pleased to listen to your lecture.
Thank you, ma'am. And just a little bit build up I want to do on what excited you about that photo. I started with Sundar Pichai and Indra Nui. They have gone to the US. And that was the time when most people wanted to go there. But now we live in a country that is exploring and being number one in space. So I think we should celebrate this juncture where we are offering that opportunity for creativity amongst our population. And this comes from encouraging our children first. So, yeah, so wherever creativity is honored, it goes there. And I'm glad it's staying in India in that way.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Anyone else to have having questions?
Yeah, a lot of people have commented positively. The chat. Okay.
Shall we conclude, sir?
Yeah, just one more comment and then
Okay.
I'll close it. In fact, Maharishi believes that if young children or young boys and girls, if they start practicing all these things, a big change can happen. And India has got the biggest young population in the world. Okay. And so if these things can go to schools, colleges, and of course, to scientists, he says if scientists can do meditation also, they'll go to a different level because already the frequency is low. I think these are some areas I think we can all work together and see our corporate sectors. We can see that, yes, Swamiji's dreams will come true. World will be a better place to live. Isn't it? Thank you very much. We'll do something about it. Okay.
That's why it is said, no, science and spiritualism should go together to come up in life. Shall we conclude, sir?
Yes.
Ma'am, shall we conclude?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Professor Gulsan Singh, for your excellent and innovative speech. Thank you, Professor Balachandran, for your nice guidance. Thank you, dear friends. We will meet again with another interesting Vedadriyam topic next Saturday. But still then, please do join daily to have meditations. We have meditation and also thought for the day. And video is also being played on simplified physical exercises and Kayakalpa yoga. Please do join daily and enjoy the bliss. Thank you all. Be blessed by the divine.
Just one more, I just wanted to give the information that for 12 days, every month, from 1st to 12th in the first fortnight, and then second fortnight from 16 to 27, 12 days we have foundation course. Okay, 2 hours. Either they can attend in the morning from 6 to 8 Indian time or evening 7 to 9. They can attend any one of them. In 12 days, they will learn Kayakalpa, meditations, and physical exercises and all that. It's done in English, in Tamil, in Telugu, in Kannada. So if people can join, and it's online, so sitting at home, you can do that. So I would love if many people join or sponsor somebody, some poor boy, and let him do this. You are giving a life changer, or you ask your friends to do it. So that's the request with which we would like to close. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Be blessed by the divine.
So, Ayya, can I share my number so they can take and anyone can reach out to me?
In charge.
I'm just sharing my number. If anyone is interested in taking part or want to sponsor someone or tell anyone, please take my number and contact, and I'll help you all with registering for the online classes. Thank you so much.
Of course, we'll have +91. It's Indian number.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, it's 9841639390. Okay. All note down.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes,
you.
Bharati madam, you can come.
Yes. Thank you all, dear friends. Thank you all, Madam Gulshan Singh. Thank you, Professor Balachandran. Also, thank you, Professor Sunanda, for your spontaneous help to me.
And Bharati madam, you did a beautiful job.
Yes.
The Bharat will be happy. Okay, thank you. Fine, all your order.
Madam.